Welcome to my live. I have a question for you. Starting off, when someone says, "Oh, just throw it away," what exactly is away? When we live on a circular planet with finite resources, there's no such place as away. And so, this is why I'm so passionate about responsible materials management, especially within businesses that can drive change within industries. Proper resource management of materials like your glass, metals, your cardboard, your office paper, newspaper, plastics, even your food waste is really critical to driving change within business, within industry. And how does that happen? Well, internally, it's through your employee training program because your employees are going to make or break any of your programs, right? So I'm Stacy Savage. I am known as the Texas Trash Talker, and I live, in the Austin area here in Central Texas. And I'm a zero waste expert and recycling nerd of 20 years. So today I bring you some value around how you can get your employees to buy into your green programs and make sure that they feel empowered and that they feel that they have a participatory role in helping your business get to its sustainability goals. So one of the ways that we can do this is through interactive workshops and training sessions. I would say bare minimum to train your either current staff and your new employees to understand how the recycling program works, what belongs where, right? What goes in what bin, what doesn't go in such and such bin, but making sure that it's something that they feel that there's at least a little bit of time and effort focused on making sure that they're making proper decisions whenever they walk up to the bin system. Sometimes you'll have just a trash can if you don't have recycling and composting services in your area. But sometimes you'll have trash and recycling. And for those who are lucky enough to have food waste composting services in their area, then you would want to do a 3-bin system to reduce as much waste from landfill as possible. Now, determining how many bins you have is determined by how many types of services you have in your area. But if you've got all 3, great. If you've got 2, okay. But it's important to make sure that the employees know what they're doing whenever they go up to the bin to get these materials out of their hands, because that's really just what they want to do, right? They don't want to be like, oh, let me sit here and try to figure out what's going on with whatever materials are in my hand and what goes where. And they want to just kind of be done with it and get it out of their hands. But you really got to help them take a stronger look at their behaviors at the bin so that we're not mishandling these materials, which are highly, highly valuable commodities like aluminum cans, right? Like cardboard and paper. These are materials that they may not understand what happens to them downstream after these products and these materials are removed from your property. So that's something that we can put into training programs instead of just wagging our finger at our staff and saying, you must do this, you must follow these signs. We really need to put the why behind the concepts of recycling and food waste composting. Do your employees understand that keeping those materials in the local area helps drive job creation in the local economy? If not, then there's a disconnect there. They need to understand what happens after the material leaves their hands and it goes downstream to the hauling truck, and the truck brings it to the processing plant, and the processing plant separates the materials out and they recycle them. Then it gets purchased and bought or purchased and made into a new product. And how do we make those new products? Well, we have to employ people to do the manufacturing, right? So there's a lot of downstream processes that a lot of employees just have not been made aware of, and how their impacts and how their decisions impact those downstream players whenever they're at the bin and they're making that decision. So one thing to do is like interactive workshops and training sessions. One thing that works very well is host engaging workshops and training sessions that educate employees about proper recycling practices. It's really important to use visuals, demonstrations, and interactive activities like pop quizzes. Do you know how to recycle X, Y, and Z? Where does this go? Let's test your recycling knowledge. There's several games that you can play online. Several municipalities, like the city of Austin, has a recycling game at different levels for different difficulty levels to really test your knowledge about what goes where. But, that is specific to what the recyclers and composters can take here in the Austin area, not necessarily Cleveland, Ohio. So it's important to check around and to see if there's any tips on how to create games around these recycling instructions for employees, so that it actually sticks in their brain and they feel like they can take ownership of the program, like they can help their peers because they're so well trained. So it's really important to help them understand what can and can't be recycled. So you would cover topics like how to separate your recyclables from the non-recyclables, the importance of clean recycling, and the environmental impacts of contamination. So when we mishandle those materials and they get in the wrong bin, it's always considered contamination, right? If you've got coffee grounds and eggshells in your recycling bin, then that's contamination, and the haulers and the processors, they can't do anything with it. It's just contaminated. So it's important to help them understand that being able to provide clean and dry recyclables and strictly food waste only in the composting bins is something that's going to help the vendors and the haulers and processors downstream to make cleaner products to remanufacture from those materials. So make them really fun, informative, encourage active participation, and make sure that you take questions from the employees. They may have some myths that you need to bust. Another is clear and visible signage. Really placing clear and visually appealing recycling signage in key areas around the workplace, such as the break rooms, cafeterias, and near the recycling bins or right above the recycling bins on the wall or on a standing post could be really helpful. And to make sure that those signs are clearly written. A lot of times you'll want to do English and Spanish, and to make sure that they have graphics, because an apple core in any language is an apple core. So those graphics are really important to help drive that habit change and helping people understand what goes where at any given time. Also making sure that the signage is color coded to the bins. Normally we would do black or gray for trash, and we would have a black sign right above it with the English, Spanish, and the graphics. Same with the blue recycling and the blue sign above it, green compost and green sign above it. All has the text as well as the graphics to help them understand the importance of what goes where, and help them give them a little bit more confidence at the bin as well. Many times people will just chuck whatever's in their hands because they're either frustrated or they're embarrassed. They're a little embarrassed that they don't know what goes where. And the longer that they're standing there reading the sign, trying to figure it out, they become flustered. They're like, oh gosh, everybody's looking at me because I don't know how to recycle. And then they just throw everything in the trash. So it's important to help them understand before they get to the bin, through this training, these interactive workshops and training sessions, that whatever's in their hands can be separated. And whenever they are in doubt, go ahead and throw it out. If you're in doubt, throw it out. Don't want to contaminate the recycling bin or the composting bin with anything that's trash. And anything like recyclables or compostable materials that do go in the trash, that's really not a contamination issue. That's a mishandling issue, but that can be addressed later on. The contamination issue happens whenever your trash gets into your recycling and your food waste gets into your recycling, or vice versa. That's the contamination issue that you want to really help reduce through that education and helping them make more confident decisions whenever they're at the bin specifically. Another way to help with the training is incentives and recognition. So implementing a reward system that recognizes and celebrates employees who consistently recycle right, they contribute to reducing contamination rates, they help their peers do the same. This could involve small rewards like eco-friendly merchandise, a gift card to a local shop or food place, or recognition in communications throughout the company. Maybe it's an intranet kind of newsletter that goes throughout all the employees, and you kind of have a spotlight for that recognition with your employee that's really going above and beyond. Definitely want to create friendly competitions or challenges to encourage employees. I would say floor by floor is really good, or department by department, to get them to actively participate and improve their recycling habits. By tying these positive behaviors to incentives, you create a sense of achievement and you encourage the ongoing commitment of your employees to recycle right. One last thing to remember is that you can use your onboarding documents as leverage to hold your employees accountable to recycling correctly at the bin. And what I mean by this is having them read over your expectations and how the recycling program works, so that you're building you're creating a sense of urgency that they do this correctly as their employment continues on from that onboarding training period, and that they are consciously changing their habits in order to comply with the onboarding documents of the expectations that were set for recycling properly. So whenever they sign on that dotted line, they have given you their commitment to do so and to follow the rules, follow the signs, and make sure that these materials are getting into the correct bin. So just remember the real key is to foster fun and a culture of sustainability, a corporate culture of sustainability, and really make recycling and food waste composting just a seamless part of the entire work environment. Providing ongoing education, visual cues, incentives can really significantly enhance your employee engagement and help reduce contamination rates in your recycling efforts as a company. So if you've got any additional questions, you can go ahead and put them into the chat. But I do have a PDF that I can send anyone who either raises their hand or says, I would like the PDF. I am building out a training regarding how to get your employees involved in recycling programs and how to do it in a fun way. So if you would like this free PDF, go ahead and signal to me either in the comments or you can connect with me on LinkedIn through my personal page, or you can go to the Zero Waste Strategies LLC page on LinkedIn and indicate that you would like this for free, because I would need your email or to be able to pass it along to you through a private message as well. So I hope that you found this valuable, and I will be going live every day for 30 days. So we will be talking about all types of different topics around zero waste, circular economy, how your business can save money, employee empowerment, driving a green marketing edge, and building out brand sustainability and your reputation around green operations within your business. All right, everyone. Thanks for your time. Take care. Bye.